She was born for war and chose death instead. The sky was burning. Bright red flames danced over the battlefield of Zarnax, a distant planet locked in endless war. Smoke rose from broken ships, and the ground shook with every explosion. The wind carried the sound of screams, weapons, and something worse, silence where life once was. She stood alone, her body wounded but still strong. Commander Raelvira, the last warrior of her unit, held her energy blade tight. Her silver armor was cracked and bloody, her long dark hair tied back in warrior fashion. Her golden eyes were cold. This was not fear. This was acceptance. She had fought for years against monsters, machines, betrayal. Her people were proud and fearless, but now they were almost gone. She looked around. Bodies of her soldiers lay across the land. Her second in command had died an hour ago, trying to stop the Vulcar invaders. There were no screams now, just the wind. A sharp pain struck her side. She had been hit again. She dropped to one knee, but her hands moved to her chest plate. Slowly, with purpose. There was a round crystal embedded in the center of her armor. A red light blinked inside it. It was the death trigger. If a Zarnax warrior activated it, their body would destroy itself completely. Nothing left for the enemy to take. She looked up at the dark sky, her lips dry, her eyes calm. She remembered her training, her mother's voice, her first battle, the way her planet once had green skies and laughter. Before the war. No one was coming to save her now. And she didn't want saving. I die with honor, she whispered in her native tongue. Her finger pressed the crystal. A sharp pulse of energy burst out from her chest. Everything turned white. Silence. Then the sound of a clock ticking. Tick, tick, tick. She opened her eyes slowly. She could feel warmth, softness. Something was wrong. This was not death. She tried to sit up, but her arms were weak. Her armor was gone. A soft cloth covered her body. The air smelled different, clean, almost sweet. She blinked. There were no explosions. No red sky. No pain. She was lying in a bed. A real bed. With blankets and pillows. The room around her was small, clean, a single light above. A window. Books. A small desk. Strange tools and machines she didn't recognize. Her breath grew fast. This was not Zarnax. This was not her planet. Her fingers grabbed the edge of the blanket, then pushed herself up. Her head spun, but she stayed up. Where am I? She said softly. Her voice cracked. The language felt heavy in her mouth. She looked around the room again. Her eyes focused on something beside the bed, a small wooden table. On it, a metal object. Long, sharp. She took it quickly and stepped back, pressing her back against the wall. Her body still hurt, but her instincts were alive. A sound. Footsteps. Someone was coming. The door handle turned slowly. Her grip tightened. On the metal. The door opened. A man stood there, human, tall, young. He had short brown hair, tired eyes, and wore a gray sweater. He froze when he saw her standing, holding the object like a weapon. I didn't think you'd be awake, he said. She didn't answer. Her eyes locked on his every move. I'm not here to hurt you, he added. He raised both hands slowly, showing he had no weapon. You were injured. I found you near the crash site. You almost died. Her mind raced. Crash site? Earth, he said. This is Earth. She didn't lower the metal. Earth. She whispered. Yes, he said gently. You're safe here. Safe. The word didn't mean much to her. Not anymore. She studied his face, his hands, his eyes. No armor. No weapons. No fear. Just concern. He stepped back, giving her space. My name is Marcus, he said. She didn't answer. Instead, her body gave out. She collapsed to her knees. Marcus rushed forward, but stopped when she raised the metal again. No closer, she said. He nodded and stayed back. Her breathing slowed. Her body was still healing. Her energy was low, but she was alive, somehow. She had died on Zarnax. But now she had opened her eyes in a human's bed. Why? How? And what did it mean? Outside, in the dark woods beyond the window, something moved. Something tall, watching, waiting. But inside the room, a warrior and a scientist were about to begin something no one on Earth or in space was ready for. 1 hour before she opened her eyes, Marcus Hawley stood alone under a sky full of stars. His boots crunched softly on the frozen grass. The cold wind touched his face, but he didn't care. He had been walking for hours, pulled by something he couldn't explain. A strange signal, maybe. A gut feeling. A whisper in the silence. He was a scientist, not a dreamer. But tonight felt different. In the middle of a quiet forest clearing, he stopped. There was a crater, small, not deep, but still smoking. Trees around it were burned. The snow had melted. The air smelled like metal and ozone. At the center of the crater was her. Not moving, not breathing, not human. Her armor was cracked and glowing faintly. Blue lines pulsed across her arms and neck. Her hair was dark, her skin pale silver. She looked like she had come from another world, and maybe she had. Marcus should have been afraid. Instead, he whispered, "What are you?" He checked her pulse. It was weak, almost gone. Her body was cold, but not dead. He didn't call the government. He didn't alert the military. Instead, he carried her back to his cabin, back to secrecy, back to a decision that would change the future of Earth. Now, in the present. Marcus sat in the corner of the room, watching her sleep again. She had collapsed after standing up. She had spoken, held a weapon, moved like a soldier. But now she was still breathing softly. He couldn't stop staring. She looked peaceful now, but he remembered the fire in her eyes. That was no lost alien. That was a fighter. He pulled out his notebook and started writing. Subject appears to be humanoid, female, advanced armor, language unknown, behavior military, healing faster than human capacity, may not be safe. May not be hostile. Watching closely, suddenly, her voice broke the silence. "Where is my weapon?" Marcus looked up. She was awake again, this time fully. He replied carefully, "I didn't find one. Just your armor. It was damaged." She looked at him for a long time, then looked at her own hands. "Armor. Self-repairing," she muttered. "Not working here. Gravity wrong. Light wrong." Marcus leaned forward. "You're on Earth. You crashed. I found you. You saved me?" She asked slowly. He didn't answer right away. "No," he said. "I didn't save you. I just stopped you from dying for now." She tilted her head. That answer made sense. "I am Ralvera, commander of the Ninth Blade, or I was." Marcus whispered, "You don't have to fight anymore." But Ralvera shook her head. "Someone will come," she said. "They always do. And if they followed me here, your planet is not ready." Her voice was flat, honest, heavy. Marcus stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the trees moved in the wind. But he knew. He felt it too. Something wasn't right. Something else had come through the crash. Something not friendly. He turned back to her. "I don't know who you are, or what you're running from," he said. "But if danger is coming, we'll fight it together." Ralvera looked at him, eyes narrow. "You are not a soldier." "No," he said with a smile. "I'm a scientist. We're worse." That made her blink, almost a laugh, but her face turned serious again. "If you stand beside me," she said, "you may die." Marcus nodded. "Everyone dies. Not everyone matters. Maybe this is how I matter." Outside, deep in the forest, a red eye blinked. Something watched the cabin. Then it moved silently. Not human. Not alone. Night. Deep. Forest. A branch snapped, but no animal had stepped on it. Something taller, heavier, it moved between trees like smoke and no sound, no breath. A shadow with form. A creature not from Earth. Its skin was dark like burned metal. Its head was smooth and eyeless, except for one red dot blinking slowly in the center. It had found her. It had followed the signal. The Valkyr hunter had arrived. At the cabin. Marcus was building something strange on his workbench. Metal pieces. Blue wires. Alien parts from her broken armor. His mind was racing. He hadn't slept in 2 days. Behind him, Elvira stood near the window, watching the forest. Still wearing his old hoodie. Her eyes never blinked. "This planet is weak," she said softly. Marcus turned. "What do you mean?" "I mean, your world is soft, too peaceful, no defenses. If they come, you will not survive." Marcus gave a small laugh. "We've survived a lot. Wars, viruses, nukes, climate change." She stared at him. "You've survived yourselves. Not something greater." He went quiet. She wasn't wrong. Then she spoke again. "I need to repair my neural link. I can't scan for threats without it." Marcus nodded. "I'm working on it. But I need more power. My equipment is basic." She walked over to his table. Her fingers moved quickly, fixing a connection he missed. "You are slow but clever." "Thanks," he said, unsure if it was an insult or a compliment. Then something beeped. The scanner blinked red. Marcus looked at her. "What is that?" Her voice dropped. "They found me. Somewhere else on Earth." A small raccoon sniffed around a strange metal shard in the grass. The object blinked. The animal touched it. Within seconds, the raccoon's eyes glowed. Its body began to change slowly, horribly. It screamed, but not with a voice any Earth creature should have. It was no longer fully animal. It was becoming something else. Something watching. Back at the cabin, Marcus and Elvira stepped outside. The forest felt wrong. Too still, too quiet. She knelt down and touched the earth, closed her eyes, breathed slowly, then said, "The ground remembers." "What?" "It remembers steps, weight, movement." She opened her eyes. "Something is near, something not alive, but not dead." Marcus's heart pounded. "You mean a machine?" "No," she said. "A hunter." Flashback. Years ago, on Zarnik's rain fell like acid. The battlefield was silent, but Elvira stood over a dead Valkyr. Its red eyes still blinked. She had lost half her squad to one of these. One machine, one tracker. They didn't feel pain, didn't stop, didn't fear. They only hunted. Present. Earth. Elvira turned to Marcus. "If it's a Valkyr hunter, we can't stay here. It will not stop. It will not sleep. It has one purpose. To kill you?" he asked. "No," she said. "To study me. And then destroy everything near." "Mim." His face turned pale. "How do we stop it?" he asked. She looked at the woods. "We don't." Then her voice hardened. "We run." Midnight. Thunder. Rain hit the roof like falling bullets. Inside the cabin, the power flickered. Marcus stared at the screen. The scanner showed movement, something large circling the cabin. No heat, no heartbeat. But it was there. Elvira stood behind him, arms crossed. She wore parts of her damaged armor now, pieces she had rebuilt with Marcus's tools. Her eyes were fixed on the screen, unblinking. "It's hunting," she said. Marcus whispered. "How does it see us?" "It doesn't use eyes. It uses rhythm. Breathing, heartbeat, energy pulses, anything alive." He took a step back. "We're alive." Her jaw clenched. "Exactly." Lightning flashed. A shadow passed by the window, tall, thin, wrong. Marcus whispered, "We can't fight that, can we?" Elvira didn't answer. Instead, she walked over to a metal box in the corner, opened it, pulled out a small device, round, silver, covered in alien symbols. Marcus leaned closer. "What's that?" She paused. "A bomb." He stepped back. "What?" "Not for here." she said calmly. For me. She placed it gently on the table, in case I was captured. This would destroy my body, my DNA, my tech. Marcus stared at her. But you're alive. And it didn't explode. She looked at him sharply. Then her eyes narrowed. Unless someone disabled it. A long silence. Both of them slowly turned toward each other. Marcus's mouth opened. No, he said. I didn't touch. Wait. His hands began to shake. When I found you, he whispered, there was something stuck in your armor, a glowing wire. I thought it was burning you. So I pulled it out. Ralvira's eyes widened. That was the trigger fuse. He froze. So I stopped it? He asked. You stopped the weapon. She stepped forward slowly. You saved me. Her voice wasn't angry. It was confused. Outside. The Valkyr. Hunter moved closer. It placed a thin needle-like claw into the soil. It heard everything. Inside the house. The heartbeat of two targets. One was Zarnax, the other was now marked. Back in Citadel, Vera's breathing grew faster. She grabbed the scanner. We can't stay, it's closing in, Marcus nodded. I have a backup car. Old engine. No GPS, it's buried in the barn. Get it ready, she said. What about the lab, he asked. My research, my notes. If we live, she said, you can rebuild. If we die, nothing matters. She was already packing. Marcus opened a trapdoor under the floor, an emergency path he had built for escaping forest fires. He never imagined he'd be escaping aliens. Before they left, Ralvira took one last look at the bomb she once trusted to kill her. It was silent now, just like her past, a mile away, inside the forest. A satellite dish turned upward on its own. Beep. The message it sent wasn't human. It carried data, location, DNA, and a warning. Subject alive, protected by human. Begin phase 2. Somewhere deep underground. Metal dripped like liquid. The Valkyr ship was alive. Inside its black walls, strange machines hummed. Alien shapes floated in thick green liquid, half animal, half weapon. Silent, growing. One of them looked almost human now. A voice echoed in the dark, not with words, but with code. She is not alone. The human must be studied. He resists fear. That is unusual. A new creature opened its eyes. Earth would soon feel its first terraforming breath. Meanwhile, in the mountains, Ralvira and Marcus sat inside an abandoned radio tower. The kind used during Earth's old wars. Rusted walls, broken dials, old posters peeling from concrete. They had been running for 2 days. No signal. No help. Just survival. Marcus was fixing a broken unit using scrap from the Valkyr tech. His hands were shaking. He hadn't slept. Ralvira walked in, holding a broken metal pipe like a staff. Her eyes scanned every corner before she sat down. Marcus didn't look up. Why me? He asked suddenly. She paused. What do you mean? Why? Did you trust me? He asked. You could have left me. You should have. She watched him quietly. Then she said, because you didn't run from me when you saw I wasn't human. He looked at her. I didn't run because I was too stupid, he said, trying to joke. But it fell flat. No, she said. You were curious. Curiosity is rare in war. A long silence. Then she added, you remind me of my brother. Marcus blinked. You had a brother? Had, she said. He was a builder, not a fighter. He died trying to protect a village. With his hands, not a weapon. Her voice didn't shake, but her eyes did. Marcus nodded slowly. I'm not a fighter either. She looked at him. No, but you will be. Later that night, Ralvira set up a defense grid using parts from her suit. Marcus watched, learning. He took notes, asked questions. She showed him how to disable motion trackers, how to hold a weapon, how to hear danger before it made a sound. "You move too loud," she said once, tapping his chest. "Breathe with your feet." He laughed. "That makes no sense." "Well, when you're being hunted," she said. Despite the danger, they began to laugh more. Share more. They were no longer just alien and human. They were becoming something else. Allies. At dawn. The grid beeped. Something had triggered the perimeter. They rushed outside. Nothing. Then they saw it. Just outside the tower fence. A dead animal. Or what used to be one. Its body was mutated, twisted, its eyes glowing faint red. Marcus stepped back. "That's the raccoon from the crash site." "No," Ralvira said. This is a test." "A test?" "They're trying Earth's DNA, mixing it, changing it." "Preparing it? For what?" Marcus asked. She looked at the sky. "For takeover. Underground, in the Valkyr ship." The new creature walked out of its pod. It was taller now, stronger, more human in shape, but not in soul. It spoke one word, the first in a borrowed voice. It was quiet when they arrived, too quiet. The hidden Valkyr facility was buried under an old coal mine. From above, it looked like just another ruin from Earth's forgotten history. But below the surface something ancient had awakened. Ralvira stood on the cliff, looking down at the entrance. Her armor was repaired. Her blade was glowing again. But her eyes, they were tired. Not with fear, with choice. Behind her, Marcus checked the last of their gear. He had built a homemade EMP bomb. Using alien tech and car parts. It wasn't pretty. But it might work. "This is a bad idea," he said. Ralvira didn't turn. "It's the only one. We could leave," he said. "We could disappear." "No," she said. "If we don't stop them now, your planet won't get another chance." Marcus walked beside her. "Then we stop them, together." She looked at him. And then she did something unexpected. She removed her armor helmet and placed it gently in his hands. "If I don't make it back, destroy this. No one must have my technology." Marcus's hands shook. "Don't talk like that. I must. This may be the last time I speak with a free voice." Inside the Valkyr base, the halls were alive with shadows. Machines lined the walls. Creatures floated in tanks, human parts mixed with alien matter. In the center chamber stood General Nax, twice the size of any human, covered in armor that breathed like lungs. His voice was deep but calm. "She has come," he said. "She brings the human," answered a Valkyr drone. "Good," said Nax. "Now she will choose." Minutes later, Ralvira and Marcus stepped into the glowing heart of the facility. The floor pulsed with red light. The air smelled like burning stone and something worse. Memory. Nixx stepped from the shadows. He smiled, but it was the smile of a knife. "Ralvira," he said, "still wearing your dead planet's colors." Ralvira raised her weapon. "You should have stayed in the dark." Nax didn't move. Instead, he turned to Marcus. "You must be the human," he said. "The one who kept her alive. You've done more damage than you know." Marcus raised the M-pan, trembling. "One more word and I'll light this place up," Nax laughed. "You brought a child's toy to a god's temple." Then he turned back to Ralvira. "You don't have to die here," he said. "There are survivors. Zarnax lives in orbit. Hidden. Join them. Join us, you can rebuild. Become what your people were meant to be." Her blade shook for the first time. "You lie," she said. "There were no survivors. There were. And they've chosen a new path. Not war, not peace, dominance." He held out a data chip, proof, coordinates, a new life. "All you must do is step aside." Marcus looked at her. Ralvira's hands trembled. The war, the years, her dead family. A chance to belong again. She could have it. She could have everything. And then she looked at Marcus. He had nothing. No armor, no weapons. Just a pulse, a mind in trust. And somehow, that was enough. She closed her eyes, and then she spoke. Humanity gave me breath when I chose death. I will not repay it with silence. She opened her eyes and threw the blade straight into Nax's chest. All hell broke loose. Sirens, blasts. The lab cracked. Marcus hit the detonator. The EMP surged through the walls. Tanks burst. Creatures screamed. The floor shook. Ralvira grabbed Marcus's hand. Run. Above ground. The mine exploded behind them in a ball of light and dust. The sky turned white. Ralvira flew through the air, shielding Marcus with her body. They hit the ground hard. Everything went black. Somewhere between life and death, she heard a voice. Not alien, not human, just him. Don't die. Not yet. We're not done. She floated. Not falling, not rising. Just floating. No pain. No war. Just light. At first, Ralvira thought this was death. But death had never felt warm. She opened her eyes slowly. Everything was white. The ceiling above her was curved, metallic, familiar, but not alien. Human. Her head turned. Beside her was a small plant in a glass jar, green leaves. Fresh oxygen. Then Dash's voice. Hey, you're awake. Marcus. He sat beside her in a chair that looked way too small for his long legs. His eyes had dark circles under them. But he smiled. She blinked, confused. How long? She whispered. 3 days, he said. You almost died. Again. Her body ached. Her left arm was wrapped in bandages. Her chest burned. But her heart was steady. She tried to sit up. Easy, he said, placing a hand on her shoulder. You're on a ship, mine, well, ours now, I guess. She looked around. Small room, modified human tech. Parts of her old armor wired into the wall. She saw her blade resting beside a cup of coffee. You built this? She asked. He nodded. After the mine exploded, I pulled you out. Used scraps from the Valkyr base, your armor, my lab. Some stolen fuel. Stolen? He shrugged. Earth's space agency won't miss it. Not for a while. She stared at him for a long time. Why? She asked. He leaned forward. Because I made a promise, he said. You saved Earth. You chose us. So now, I choose you. Later, in orbit, the ship floated above Earth's blue curve. Beautiful. Alive. Ralvira stood near the window, wearing a new armor suit, lighter, cleaner. A blend of Zarnax and Earth design. She had never looked more like herself, and never felt less sure. Marcus joined her, holding a small tablet. There's a signal, he said. Coordinates. Hi. Orbit. Could be survivors from your world. Her eyes didn't leave Earth. What do you want to do? He asked. She stayed quiet. Then she finally spoke. My mission was to die with honor, she said. But your people gave me a new choice. To live with purpose. He looked at her. You don't have to go. She turned. I do. If they're my people, I must face them. But, she stepped closer, reached into her chest plate, pulled out a glowing stone, the heart of her blade. She placed it gently in his hand. This belongs to both worlds now. Keep it. Marcus's eyes watered. This isn't goodbye, he said. No, she said. It's just another path. They didn't hug, they didn't kiss, but in that silence, something stronger passed between them. Respect. Memory. Fire. Final log, recorded by Ralvira. I was born a weapon. I was trained to burn, to kill, to end. But I met a man who gave me tea when I wanted blood. He asked questions instead of giving orders. He listened. Because of him, I saw Earth through a window, not a scope. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to protect something soft. The ship door opened. Ralvira stepped out in space, her suit glowing against the stars. Her pod detached, and as she drifted away, Marcus watched that the alien warrior who came to Earth to die was now leaving it to live.